Hello. Right, so we're going to look at this video here. I'm just going to play it, then I'm going to run you through the first design. The video is all about like tonal content versus noise, and it's kind of aimed more towards people looking to get into the industry. I think if you're mid-level or senior or anything like that, you probably know these things. But when I was trying to get my first job, I certainly didn't. So yeah, I think it'll be useful for people looking to get into the industry. So yeah, here's the clip, and then I'll show you the first design, the noise design. So yeah, just that. It's just two flybys. I think the game's called the Ascent. Yeah. So here's the noise. Here's the noise one. This is how I would have probably done it a few years ago. Well, when I was in university or something like that. And I think it's easy, and I'm not judging anyone, but it's easy to take these things very literal. Like, you know, you see spaceship, you think jet, you think airplane, you think the thrusters, you think sci-fi. And this is exactly what I would have done. So I'll bypass the effects. I'll show you what I've got. So layer 1 is this. You know, like a noisy, whooshy flyby. Something with a bit more body to it, you know, because it's a large spaceship. So that made sense to me. And then something like a train going past with like some pitch shift on it as it goes away. And then something like that, another train. And I think this is probably what I would have done, something like this. So we play it all together. And you're thinking, that's a good start, let's get the effects on it. But what effects do we need? Well, this is maybe what I would have done, maybe not. You bump up the bass, you do the brick wall, because I was taught to do brick wall, so you would do that. Then you would cut the mids, and then you boost the highs, then you cut everything above 20,000, because there's nothing there anyway. So, you know, it doesn't really matter. Then, since it's such a big ship, you add some distortion to it. Then you can see it's like an exterior location, very wide and open. So you add your reverb to convey the sense of space. Then after that, you add your delay for like the reflections from the building and things like that. Then because it's sci-fi, you add flanger. And then because you don't want it to clip, you add one of these. And this is what you get. This might be a bit of an exaggeration. Like maybe someone looking to get into the industry would know better than this, but you know, it's a bit extreme just to make a point. So, I mean, that's probably the way I would have approached it, but this is how most people would probably want it to turn out. Something more, kind of more like this. Let me show you this one. This is the tonal design. I'm going to call this one. So you might be aiming for something more like this. I don't think this is perfect. This took, I don't know, 3 or 4 afternoons. It wasn't too crazy. I would like to probably redo it. There's bits I don't like about it. But just as an example, I think it's okay. So there's quite a lot going on here. I'll play it once more. Cool. So this is how I made this sound here. Let's solve this. So what I've done is, well, basically this took a lot of tries to get right. So we've got V2 here. I'll just play it just so you know what it sounds like. It's nothing fancy. We got V2 and then we've got V3. So basically, I just picked parts of that and combined them, added some more layers and stuff, and this is what we got. But I'll run you through the layers I'm using here, because it's not all from previous designs. Those. Then we've got... So that's a dog sound going through a Doppler. It sounds quite cool. I've got loads of that kind of stuff. I think it's really worth having stuff like that, because it's it's a very natural sound that you're not going to really be able to recreate that easily through like synthesis and stuff. So that sounds like this. That's an elephant. A dolphin for some reason. Lion. And basically all you want to do is get the chain set up. However you want to do it. You can use like Traveler or the Waves Doppler, but I don't think that's very good. Probably best with Traveler. And just once you've got the chain set up, just put anything you want through it. Just think like synthesizers, like I've done that here. Let's see, JD. Like all this stuff. That's just synthesizers. It's not all going to be useful, but yeah. Then some basic noise if I needed it. That's just a seal. Yeah. Just to start it a little bit, run it through some meta flanger or something like that, then add it through, put it through a Doppler, and then yeah, you'll get some cool results. And it really gives you a head start when you're trying to make stuff like this. So we've got the Doppler parse, Dopplered dog. This is just a jet sound. Not bad. And this bit here, this will be one of those previous designs. Some punch, whatever that thing is. And that's like a kind of lead-in sound to one of these other flybys. I quite like, maybe this one. Yeah, so that kind of thing. So I just crop that. And then we've got this. So I made this with Traveler. Just put a synth sound through it and that was it. Explosion sound I recorded. Got a launch sound. I think that's maybe got some, not here, I think this has been bounced down. But I think it's got some all pass phase on it or something like that. Sounds quite tonal. And then I quite like this layer. This is one of the previous designs. And what I've done is I've just put driver on it. And this is native instruments. And then parameter modulation. So it takes the input from track 1 and 2. I do this quite a lot. If you watch my other videos, you'll see this happening all the time. And then if I play this, as the volume gets louder, it brings the frequency down. I quite like the idea of it. I think it's kind of like when you're recording something with a not so good microphone, and as it gets really loud, it all distorts and clips and just kind of shits to bed, basically. That's the kind of effect I was going for there, and I think it works. So then the next thing, these are muted. That is. Yeah, just those two. Then we've got, oh, this is muted. Some explosions. Another sub-hit thing. One of those previous designs. Yep, so layer all that up. And then one of these. One of the previous designs again. And then that brings us to the final thing. So what I would have done here, I can't remember the exact process, but what I think I would have done is take the output from this, just bounce this down. And then I think that's what this layer is. And then just carry on with your design. You know, just treat this as another layer and just keep going with it. So I added some more things here. We've got some really distorted sounds. If you can, and you know, if you're doing these kind of ship flybys and very loud things, try and get a sound that's actually distorted. I always find it turns out better than using a distortion plugin. So yeah, just give that a go. Then that, that's Behringer neutron, something I made on that. This is the thing from the other group. And then we've got a Doppler woo. I wasn't concentrating too much on the second flyby. I actually wasn't even going to do it, but I basically just copy and pasted one of these. I don't know what one, but copied one of these and just pasted there and pitched it up a little bit, and it worked. When you're doing these things here, changing the pitch is like the most important thing, and there's multiple ways you can do it. So what I used to do in attempt 1 and 2 is I would just go like this, put the pitch thing here, here, put that down, put that up. But it never really sounded that good. I feel like the pitch didn't change enough. So I started using this wave sound shifter and then doing the same kind of thing. It just sounded better. I just preferred it. You could use whatever. You could use like Traveler or Whoosh or something like that. That would work. I tend to not use the Waves Doppler because I just don't like it that much. Okay, so then we've got this thing. Now I don't have all these samples, so I just used an RPG thing from a library. Just quite liked it. Same with that. That's from Boom Library. It's kind of quiet in the mix, and it's layered up with this thing here, which I did make, so I don't feel too guilty about that. Now we've got that. So just keep adding some movement, basically. Distortion. Really, really distorted sound there. F16 jet. So that's a jet sound, but this thing here is actually a creature sound. And this is what I'm talking about. Like, don't think about it too literally, just think of the sound as like frequencies. Otherwise you'd probably never use a creature sound because just the idea sounds crazy. So what did I use there? GD creature shriek of 4. So just that. So yeah, I think that the actual sound for this is like maybe like a dog growl or something, then a big metal scrapey sound. And then yeah, kind of went in the creature library. But really it's just, it can be used anywhere, so you know, don't think just because this is creature it needs to be used on a creature. You can do whatever you want with it. And then we've got this one. Just another library sound. It's just to add some really, really high frequency stuff going on. And also when you're doing this, keep an eye on your mono and stereo thing, basically. Like if it doesn't need to be stereo, don't make it stereo. Otherwise it'll just sound a bit weird. This is a bird screech. This is I think that's a car tire. Yep. Just thinking of like the high frequencies and stuff like that. You could use like train brakes screeching. That would work as well, probably. And some more of that. Cool. And then that goes through this thing here. Really not much in the process, and you can do whatever you want with this, really. But I just added some EQ, Oxford inflator. This is at 0, but it's actually on the parameter modulation thing. So if I play this, you see it goes up. Pro multiband. I never really used this, but I think it sounded quite good. I just used a preset. I don't really know how to use this. Yeah, that's that. And mono bass. Then you could put a limiter at the end or something if you wanted. But yeah, that's basically the whole design. So yeah, give it a go. This isn't easy. This does take a lot of time and a lot of experimenting to get this right. As you can see, this is attempt 4, but I also done probably 2 attempts here. So there's attempt 1. There's attempt 2. So it does take a while to get this right. And like if you're trying to do something similar and it's not coming together, just start again. Keep the old stuff. I mean, you've still learned stuff, and then just try again. Maybe reuse it in the future. If you think it's a cool sound but it doesn't fit the style or whatever, just make a library here and just like fire it in. But yeah, I just wanted to kind of run through all this stuff. I hope it was useful. Cheers.